So with that, let's go ahead and start our practice. We'll start in mountain pose. Welcome everybody who's watching there. My name is John. This is Power Hour. And again, we're down at Public Coffee in Salt Lake City. This is Mosaic Yoga. This is Power Hour. It's a 60-minute class. I've named this class the Big Balancing Act. The Big Balancing Act. Alrighty. So you can kind of project and think about what we're going to be doing with that. So we'll start in mountain pose. You might stand with your feet about hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, or if you need to, just an adjustment where you might need to step the feet a little wider or even turn the feet outward a little bit, but mainly just creating a strong foundation for yourself as you begin your practice. And since we are practicing and doing balancing today, let's establish that balance from the get-go. So balancing on your own 2 feet, just noticing if you have more weight shifted to one side or the other. Even notice if you're kind of leaning back into your heels or have shifted towards your toes. And if that's the case, just make that adjustment where you just feel really centered, using the whole foot, both feet, even distribution of weight across both feet. And just plug into the ground, feeling that energy moving down into the ground from your own body. But then that power and that foundation is reciprocated. That energy shoots right back up into our own bodies. So even imagine that energy moving through the soles of your feet, right up through your legs, your hips, your torso. Nice lengthening up through your spine, through the crown of your head. With all of that, a connection with breath. So if you haven't already, establishing your connection to breathing. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. Good. As you breathe in, you might even feel your breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. Nice expansiveness. And as you exhale, connecting to your center, drawing your navel inward towards your spine, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. And of course, as we work with balance, we think about centering. The breath helps us to establish that centering effect. So again, as you breathe in, a lifting and lengthening of your spine, expanding through your lungs, opening your heart space. Your exhale, drawing navel inward, contracting the abdominal muscles. And go ahead and take 2 more breaths like that. Whenever you're ready to move, and inhale to extend your arms into the air, reach high, big stretch. Exhale, will fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips, bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down, maybe touching your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs and extend your spine. Exhale, let's fold again, coming back down, maybe touching your toes, but this first fold you may not need to touch your toes or the ground. Maybe you want to have the hands up by your shins or even on your knees, just so your body can ease into this posture. And while you're here, noticing this nice lengthening down through the backs of your legs, perhaps your hamstrings, your lower glutes. There might even be a heaviness in the upper body as you fold forward, gravity drawing you downward through the crown of your head. A nice natural curvature in the spine, perhaps, and a release in your low back. From here, you're going to inhale and slide your hands back up to your knees or thighs. We're going to hold here on the exhale, so we form this little tabletop. And just as we did in mountain pose, that standing position, just see if you can establish that even distribution of weight on the feet. Meaning, just notice if you're leaning back into your heels or shifted forward towards your toes. See if you can find the center, right in the middle of the feet. A couple more breaths in this half forward fold, lengthening through the spine. And as we get ready to move, now shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees, let your hips drop like you're about to sit down. You might even look forward. That should really extend the spine. Reach your arms out to the side. We'll stand up nice and tall. Reach into the air. Extended mountain. Good. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Let's pause here for several breaths and return to this natural balanced position on 2 feet. Let's go through that same sequence again. Whenever you're ready, inhales, float the arms into the sky, reach high. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward with the softness in your knees. Guide your way down, maybe touching toes. Inhale, rise up halfway, that full extension of spine, maybe quickly establishing that balance on the feet. Exhale, let's fold. A brief pause here, even go heavy if you'd like. Nice release of the head, neck, and shoulders, your back. Stretch in the legs. From here, lean back into your heels. Bend your knees. Let the hips drop. Look up or forward. Feel the spine extending. Arms out to the side. Let's stand up from here. Inhale, reach as high as you can. Exhale, hands back down to your heart. And again, we'll hold. Find this connection to the ground. Even distribution of weight. The energy that you share with the ground and the earth. Nice. Continue with our flow at your own pace. Inhale, let's reach into the air, extended mountain. And our exhale to carefully fold. Soft knees to help protect your back. Inhale, let's rise up halfway. Long spine. Exhale, bend your knees enough so you can place your hands on your mat. So you can walk both of your feet back into plank pose. Let's hold here for a moment just to establish more strength, but also continued length in the body. We'll breathe in. And the exhale, a little bend of the knees like you're about to kneel down, but send your hips up into the air. This is our shortcut to downward facing dog. You might make some adjustments with your feet and your hands on your mat. And even here we're establishing a balance. We're upside down. Hands are rooted into the earth evenly, firmly, as best as you can. Same with the feet. Hips lifting right up into the air. Feel centered, feel connected. Take a breath. On the exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale to rise up halfway. Exhale to fold. We're still in motion. Lean back into your heels. Bend your knees. Look forward, arms out to the side. That's our prep. Inhale, stand up tall. Reach high. Let's keep it moving. Exhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Right here. Let's go ahead and bend the elbows. We're going to hold this for a moment. I just want to change our arm posture so it's a little bit more comfortable. So bend arms, a 90-degree angle here. Even pull the arms back so you can feel your upper back muscles engage, like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Now, chair pose, I consider a balancing posture. Because just think about how you're doing this. There's weight of the hips moving back into the imaginary chair, but just so that you don't fall down, there's an energy coming forward through the crown of your head and fingertips. Let's breathe in. Exhale, we'll dive out of the seat back down towards toes. Inhale, rising halfway, still moving at your own pace. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat, walk, step, or even hop back into plank pose. We'll pause for a breath in. The exhale, you can finish your push-up, come down to Chaturanga Dandasana, or even all the way down to your belly. Inhale to a low cobra, locust, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Arrive in the posture, and as we did earlier, establish that balance. Both feet, both hands, hips, and breath. Notice the change in balance, perhaps as you now inhale to extend right leg up into the air, reaching back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat to our warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground, shifting the weight back a little bit so the hands are light so you can easily rise up. Warrior one. Let's go ahead and open right away to warrior two. And here we want to establish balance. So you might make some adjustments with the feet. I like to take mine a little wider, making sure the right knee and toes are pointing forward for a nice hip opener here. Outside edge of your left foot pressing into the ground. So there's movement in these opposite directions, just as your hands are reaching in opposite direction. Let's go ahead and relax the arms for a moment. Place your hands on your hips. Okay, let's just be mindful of the spine and just knowing that's the center of your body here. Okay, right through the tailbone. And if we looked down at the floor, let's take your hand, one hand, left or right, doesn't matter, and just point right where your tailbone might be and point at the ground. And just notice if there's an evenness, if you had to draw a line from your fingertip to your heel between, is it even? Okay, so that's just that balance right there. Let's return to Warrior Two. We're going to reach out past the right knee and toes to angle the upper half of the body, rotate the arms here. Now, ideally, we still have established or have maintained that balance that we established in Warrior Two. Because here we've tipped over essentially. We're sending more energy to the front end of the mat. But we want to still have that center of gravity, which is right between the heels, or right between the feet. Breathe in. We're going to exhale to turn. Let's bring the hands back down to the mat. We'll step back into plank pose. Here you can take your shortcut to down dog or go through a full vinyasa that you can create. Chaturanga, to up dog or cobra or locust. Then right into downward facing. Establish your balance. And then an inhale to extend left leg into the air. Reach back. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground, shifting the weight back. Balance so the hands are light. Rising up, Warrior One. Exhale, Warrior Two. Same thing. Make some adjustments. Settling in. You want to feel pretty weighted in the center of your body. Even relax the hands again, hands on hips. Because this is the center right here, this bowl, your basin. That's your center. I'm going to exaggerate this because you don't want to feel like you're putting all the weight this way into this front knee. That wouldn't be balanced. Okay, there's not a lot of weight back there. So we're trying to settle right in this little pocket. You can even look down and even imagine that same point between the feet. When you're ready, go ahead and re-extend your arms. Let's follow the left arm forward. Even though we're sending energy forward, we're still maintaining that balance. Rotate the arms into your side angle pose. Same thing, we want to be aware if we've put too much pressure or weight or sensation in the left foot or left knee, it should still be in that pelvic bowl section. Let's breathe in. Exhale, we're going to turn. Let's bring the hands to the mat. Let's step back into plank pose, and you can go ahead and finish your sequence. We'll meet together in down dog. And once you're in down dog, take a breath. And then come down to hero pose. You can bring your knees to the ground, sit back. And if you can, sit like this. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just sit on your mat. Just sit on the ground. Okay? I just want to quickly show you something that I do almost automatically. I never instruct it. I never call this out, but it's just something that I do. I just want to just have you be aware to see if you actually do this too. And it's when we're in down dog, prepping for the leg extension to step through. Because I said, make sure you're balanced. And can you maintain that balance as you prep for that step through? And I noticed this is what I do. So here's my down dog. And so I was mentioning even distribution of weight in hands and feet, hips and breath. And I feel balanced here. But when I extend a leg up in the air, my right leg, I always step the other foot center. And then I extend the leg. Because that establishes a triangle or a nice tripod where I stay balanced in the posture. Otherwise, for me, if I kept the legs here, I feel like I'm going to fall. Or I might see how my weight went to one side. Because I can actually pick up that hand. Okay? So I just noticed that for myself and wondered, because I never instruct that step and wondered if other people do that. Did you notice that you do that too? Or do you just kind of keep the feet in? Say that again?
I notice when I don't, I'm off balance, but I never knew if it was correct to
It's funny because it's like I said, it's not an instruction that we might typically give, at least I don't give, but in some styles of practice, you are instructed to step a foot to the side, to do that. Because in Ashtanga, actually, where power yoga comes from, we actually don't extend the leg up in the air. What we do is actually, we step, let's say I'm going to take my right foot forward, rather than extending the leg in the air, we step forward and plant the foot, and then step through, right into Warrior One. So I think that's where I get that from. Because in Ashtanga, you make that step to plant that back foot, then rise. We don't extend that right leg in the air. That's just a tip. That's a style, just one style. So just a little note there. All right, since we're seated, let's go ahead and do a little back bend. So again, our big balancing practice and just awareness of how you are able to establish balance in your body. So even here, as we're lying on our backs, we're going to go to bridge, bent knees, feet flat on the ground. Inhale to fill up your lungs. Exhale to engage the belly and peel your hips right up off the ground, lifting straight up. And even here, there might be a sense of centering and balance and evenness. Things lift at the same time, same height. You might even use the backs of your arms. You might bend your arms at 90 degrees to press the arms down into the ground, just to help lift and open the chest and hips a bit more as you'd like. I like to kind of wiggle my upper body left and right a little bit to get my shoulders underneath. Just a little bit more expansive in the center in my front body. Now just notice what's planted into the ground. Both feet, perhaps even. Both arms, perhaps, pressing firmly. And remember this. Just kind of take a mental snapshot. From here, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit. We're coming out of the pose. Extend your arms straight up into the air, and then roll your way down to the ground. Inhale, draw knees to chest. Exhale, rock your way up to boat pose. Take your time if you need to rock several times, even coming up to find the seat, establish your seat, and then find boat. That's perfect. You can energize your feet here, hold on to your legs if you need to, and fully extend the spine. Inhale to help that extension. Exhaling to engage, to lock it in, feel strong. Hold on for the duration if you'd like. You're certainly welcome to release. It certainly takes balance, and just notice what's allowing me to be balanced here. Just that leaning back, how we've gotten into this pose before sometimes. When we lean back enough and step the feet forward or towards yourself, the feet just become light and they just can automatically lift. Okay, let's come out of the pose. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs if you can. Hands in front to hop back into plank, or just swing the legs back behind you and just make your way to plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Find the balance. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to extend right leg into the air. And just notice if you make that automatic step to center with the left foot. Inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, step through. Left heel turns to the floor, shifting weight back. Rising when you're ready. Warrior Two. Right away, side angle. We're just going to flow through this. Right hand down, left hand up. Inhale just to expand a bit more. And our exhale will turn, hands to the ground. Step back, plank pose, finishing your sequence as you'd like. You could always take a shortcut or modify this flow. Find your balance in down dog. Prepare for left leg extension. I step my right foot to center. Inhale, left leg extends. Exhale, step through. Right foot turns to the ground, heel to the ground, then rise. Open, warrior two. Side angle, follow the left arm forward. Remember, you're still in a balanced sensation. Inhale just to expand and open the arms more. And your exhale to turn. Let's bring hands down to the mat. Step back into plank, finishing your sequence. We'll meet together in down dog. Hold for a moment to establish balance. Breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Hold for a moment. Even release the head, neck, and shoulders. Then lean back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, arms up into the air, extended mountain, all the way up. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Pause for a moment. Finding that balance and connection to the earth. All right. Now moving to some classic balancing poses. I always like to start with tree pose, right? So we'll start shifting the weight over into your right foot, and just notice at first that even distribution of weight in both feet, and then it shifts, it moves, you move, and then shoot that energy down into the ground. And then that travels all the way up through the body at the same time, exhaling to lock it in place. Then we can float the left foot up, bending the knee. Flexed foot just to keep it strong and active. Let's take our hip opener. Okay, the knee swings out to the side. Then we place foot on the inside of the standing leg. Low, this is low for me, so touching the ground if you need to. Medium or middle at the calf, or high on mid-thigh. Then your inhale to take arms up into the air. Reach. So another component of balance, especially when you're only on one foot, is our focus. So finding a drishti point or a focal point, something out in front of you or even down low. Sometimes looking at something on the ground can really help you establish balance. Keeps you connected to the ground. Okay, keep arms extended. We're going to swing the left knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. Very active. We're going to extend the leg, but down low, down here. Pushing through the heel. Push, and then reach up a little higher. And then we're going to bring this foot slowly down to the ground, and your arms down by your side. Once we're complete there, we can shake all that out. Roll your shoulders, even roll your wrists. A little movement in the head and neck if you'd like. And then come back to balance on 2 feet. We'll have the arms down by your side. Already finding your focal point, whether it's forward or slightly downward. Okay, feel the energy, both feet, and then start shifting that weight and energy into left foot, rooted down into the ground, strong leg, lightness up top. As we inhale, we lock it with the core exhale. Float right foot up, bend the knee, flexing the foot, open the door, knee swings out to the side, plug it in, high, medium, or low, wherever you need to. You can always change it. Focus is forward or downward. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Just shoot them straight up. That's good. Reach, lift, open. And of course, we'd lose our balance. That's normal and natural. So if you lose your balance, just step down, reestablish balance on 2 feet, and then come back to the 1 foot balance. Okay, let's keep arms extended. We're swinging right knee forward, lift knee with the flexed foot. Then we're going to extend the leg, but down low, so you can get it as straight as can be. Flex foot so you can push through the heel. Reach up a little higher. More extension through the sides of your body. Then slowly bring foot down to the ground. Plant it. Bring the arms down to reestablish balance in the whole body. Take a breath. Good. Okay, from here we're just going to go to a chair pose that we're going to twist. Together, inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, take your chair pose, and then bring hands to heart. Now, this doesn't have to be too deep of a seat unless you want to. Remember that it's a balancing posture. There's energy moving through your hips, moving, and also movement energy moving through the top of the head. Breathe in to feel that lengthening through the spine. Exhale, pull belly in a rotation to your right. Even here, this doesn't have to be too strong of a rotation. Just a slight turn is perfect. Doesn't have to be much at all. But still balanced on 2 feet. Just notice if there's that alignment. We'll breathe in. Exhale, unwind. Then stand up tall. Reach into the air just to reestablish alignment in the body. Reach, and then take another seat, chair pose. Hands to heart. Even just check in with your body right here. Do the feet still feel balanced, even on the ground? Inhale for more length in the spine. Exhale, pull belly in, rotate carefully, mildly to your left. And again, these don't have to be big movements. Did the weight shift into one foot or the other? Maybe you may need to unwind, reestablish the balance, and then return to the rotation. Mainly, it's the upper body that's rotated. From the waist down, everything has stayed in place. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind. Place your hands on your thighs, and then slowly slide down to forward fold. Release. Let the back relax. Bend the knees more so you can just plant your hands into the ground and just step both feet back into plank pose. Inhale for energy and lengthen the body. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana if you'd like, or the shortcut. Inhale to up dog, cobra or locust. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to make our way back down to the ground. Take a seat. Extend the legs out in front, and here you might want to use a strap. So legs sitting out, or legs extended out front. For just energy in the legs, flex feet keeps the energy in the legs. We're just basically going into a forward fold, and that's why you can use your strap. But let's establish balance here. So we want balance in the hips. Basically the underside there, okay, kind of the buttocks. And there's some bony parts there. It's your sits bones, okay? And we want to make sure those are kind of plugged right into the ground. And so you might see us, we say, get your sits bones plugged into the ground. It's like, well, what is that? There's little bony parts are right in the seat there. And sometimes we just need to pull the flesh away. So you might see us lean to one side, pull the flesh out, and do the other side, and that exposes those bony parts. And then you can feel like, I feel kind of plugged in here, okay? So that's what's happening there. So you're balanced in your seat. If you're going to use your strap, go ahead and wrap your strap around the soles of the feet here, holding on to the strap. You can certainly do this free-handed. We're going to inhale just to sit up tall. To help sit up tall, just tug the strap, sit up tall. Exhale, pull belly in, tug strap a little bit, send your heart and chin forward a little bit. So we are going for a nice hamstring stretch. That's one of the intentions with this. We're going to inhale, get a little bit more lift and length through the spine at this angle. Exhale, pull belly in more, and maybe, if you want, not necessary, fold a little bit more. Now my spine is still relatively straight, my legs are still straight, and I could just hold here for the duration, but you're certainly welcome to either still hold on to the strap or release, but maybe even bend the knees a little or a lot. Let the back curve, and even let your head drop. Maybe your hands are just resting on your shins, or maybe you can reach your toes with this. It's all correct. So you might be here with knees bent and back curved, or maybe you're still sitting up relatively tall, holding onto the strap with straight legs and spine. Just creating this, basically you get to create the sensations you want, and even in a pose like this. We're going to hold a little bit longer just so that the body can get used to these extensions and lengthenings that are happening. Let's take 3 more breaths here. If you're holding onto the strap, just relax the body a little bit, release the strap. Reach forward with your arms. Inhale, hinge your way back up to a full seat in our L shape right here. Exhale, bring the hands down and plant the hands down onto the mat next to your hips. Push into the ground, just to help re-extend spine. Even roll shoulders back a little bit. Flex the feet, engaged. So this is another pose. This is staff pose. Staff pose. Dandasana. Then go ahead and relax. If you're using a strap, just set it out of the way. And then move into your boat pose. So here's that balance work again. So you might just do this. You can bend your knees, heels on the ground. Make sure there's a nice extension through the spine. Start to lean back to the appropriate place. And then start stepping the heels closer to the body to a place where it just feels like there's no more weight in the feet and they'll naturally float without needing to lift them off the ground. Because the more that you lean back, they'll just lift. Inhale, we're going to move. Exhale, cross legs if you can, hands in front or even just to the side. So you can just start swinging the feet back or step back into plank pose or hop back plank. Take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees, hips into the air, down dog. Inhale, extend right leg into the sky. Right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to a high lunge this time. So that back heel stays lifted, but do shift the weight back so you can find the balance, the energy to float right up into the high lunge position. Reaching here for a moment. We're going to open this up to a warrior two so that back heel turns to the ground. There's warrior two. Let's set it up for triangle. So set up or lengthen the front leg. Straighten it, reach out over that right leg so you can tip it over, and you'll be in triangle. And even here, you don't have to go down too far. My hamstrings are a little tight this week, so I don't need to go down too far to get the sensation that I need at the moment. So just listen to what your body needs at the moment. Because your hand could be up by your knee, where mine is, or it might be past your shin, even touching the ground. Holding a little bit longer. Certainly this is a nice hamstring stretch. To come out of the posture, let's bend the right knee first, a nice lunge, so we can come back up to a warrior two. Go ahead and reverse the warrior, reaching the right hand up into the air, and just feel that nice opening through the right side of your body. We'll windmill, bring the hands to the floor, and again, just step back into down dog. Just step back, feet on the ground, hips in the air, establish your balance. Prepare to extend left leg into the sky. Inhale to lift. And then exhale to step left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge on this side, so right heel stays lifted, shifting the weight back so there's less or no weight in the hands, so they'll float into the air. We'll hold. You might even deepen the lunge if that feels okay. Reaching a little higher. Good breathing. And to unlock the hips, especially if you're in a deep lunge, just lift. Pivot right heel to the floor. That whole leg opens up. Warrior two, establish it. Then lengthen left leg. Prepare for triangle. Let's reach out over it. Tip it over. Right hand extends into the sky, while left hand might be anywhere along this extended front leg. Establish the sensation that you need. Breathing, connecting. To come out of the pose, we're going to bend the left knee for a nice lunge. So we have leverage to come back up through a warrior two, to reverse it by sending left hand into the sky. Inhale, reach, and our exhale to windmill. Hands down to the mat, step back, down dog, both feet on the mat. Hips high, balanced. Breathe in fully, prepare to move. Exhale completely, walk, step, or hop, both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Once again, we're going to hold a little bit longer. This time, hold onto the backs of the legs. It could be way up by your knees or hamstrings, or down low near your heels or ankles. Here, you are going to shift your weight towards your toes a little bit, which will automatically help you, in your hamstrings and your glutes will automatically engage so you don't fall over. You might even engage your core. But because we're leaning forward and that activation in the legs even helps that hamstring lengthening. Now lean way back into the heels. Bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit down, look forward. That should extend your spine, that should free up your arms and hands so you can sweep them out and up, rise up, extended mountain, reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. And let's reestablish mountain pose balanced throughout the entire body. All right, we're going to continue to challenge our bodies in balancing. So from mountain pose, start shifting your weight into right foot, root into the ground. Tall, lengthened spine, just like you're preparing for tree pose. Exhale to engage. We're going to float the left foot up. Flexing the left foot. Let's place hands on hips for a moment. And with the hands on hips, they're not just there. You're actually going to be, you're doing something. You're trying to push your pelvis down. And by doing that, feel your torso lift like it's trying to lift out of the pelvic bowl. Okay, and you're looking directly forward, having established your balance, your balancing point or drishti. Now extend your right arm straight up into the air. Reach. Okay. Now this right hand is going to come down to the outside and catch the left leg. Just on the outside with your fingers and just hold it up. Still focused forward. Still focused forward. Extend your left hand behind you. Just extend. It might even be at an angle, and it's okay if it is. Still focused forward. Inhale, get a little taller. We're going to exhale and just start to rotate or twist to the left. You might just turn your focus to the left wall. We're just going to backtrack that. Look forward again. Bring the left hand to your hip. Right hand up into the air. Right hand to your hip. Left foot to the ground. So we just took it in reverse. Walk that out, shake that out. That's a lot. Okay, so we broke that down, right? Okay, so we're going to do that same thing, other side. Mountain pose. Catch that drishti point. Lock it in. Shift weight into your left foot. Root down into the ground. Feel tall. Core engagement. Whenever you're ready, float right foot up. Flex the foot. And maybe this thigh is parallel to the ground. Go ahead and bring hands to hips. Push pelvis down. Feel more lengthen in the torso. You can roll the shoulders back if you can. If you engage your upper back muscles, that might even help with balance. Still focusing forward, we're shooting left hand up into the air. Reach. Okay, then coming down to catch the outside of the right thigh underneath or hamstring with the fingers. Still focused forward. Take your right hand, reach behind you or at an angle if that's too much for the shoulder. Active hand. Active right foot that's lifted. Okay, then maybe twist your torso or even just turning your head to the right. Just changing your balance, changing your focus. Changing the focal point, looking forward. Reach up with the right hand. Left hand to left hip. Right hand to right hip. Foot to the ground. Shake it out. Ooh, yes. And you have to do a lot of because that's hip work. I know you have to do a hand of right. You have to that works right in here. All that being able to stay lifted, that's all in here, right? Otherwise, we would just kind of collapse into that, just drop into that. but to engage it actually helps us to lift. So there's a lot of work that's involved there. Okay, just a quick half flow here. Let's inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Monkey pose, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. We're going to stay in this fold. Same thing as we did earlier. Holding onto the backs of the legs. This time we're going to inhale and try to shoot the crown of the head forward to help extend spine. Still folded, however. Exhale, pull belly in a little tighter and fold a little deeper. Since you're holding onto the backs of the legs, maybe you can fold a little deeper. Shift the weight towards toes. Just a little bit. Your heels are still touching the ground, but there's weight forward in the toes. You might even grip your mat with your toes. Lift your hips up a little higher. They won't really move at all or very little, but that's what's extending the hamstrings. One more breath or two. Now shift all that weight back into the heels. Bend your knees. Drop your hips, look forward. Standing up, arms assist. Inhale, reach into the sky. Nice and tall there. Exhale, arms down by your side. Okay, shake it out, relax for a moment. We're going to do pretty much the exact same thing, but we're adding a component. Let me just show you quickly. Okay, because we're going to extend the leg. We only bent the knee here. We're going to extend the leg this time with that twist. So you can use the strap. Let me just show you. So I'm going to establish mountain pose. Strap is underneath my left foot. So I'm in mountain, putting weight into my right foot, core engaged, all the same establishment. And this right hand is going to be on my hip. This, I'm going to use my marionette puppet act and lift. Here, still focusing forward, shoulders rolled back. Extending right hand into the air. I'm going to take it to the outside. I'm going to switch hands actually on the strap. Reach up, but grab the strap. Here, and now this left hand's going to come to hip. Extend the leg. It might be low, it's okay if it's low. Reach back. Twist. Okay. Focus forward, hip, bent knee. I'm going to bend the knee here to get out of the pose, switch hands. So we'll bring it down. So I might do it that way. We'll bend the knee first, then take it out. All right, so let's try that together. So let's place the strap underneath the left foot. Hold on to the strap in the left hand. Mountain pose. Establishing all those connections. Start with the ground, feet. Do you feel rooted? Is there an energy shooting up? Long spine, focus forward, drishti. Shoulders back. Shift weight into right foot. Let's float the left foot up. Use the marionette puppet. Place the right hand on your right hip for now. Let's go ahead and extend right hand up into the air next. Then we're just going to switch hands on the strap. And this free left hand, just place it on your hip. Extend the left leg as best as you can, even if it's low. Maybe parallel to the ground. Focus forward or downward slightly. Left hand reaching behind you. Twist to your left, changing your focal point. It's a challenge for sure. Focus forward. Left hand, let's catch the strap. Right hand on hip. Bend the left knee. Place the foot down. Do a dance. Wow. I don't know what gets more work, the extended lifted leg or the standing leg. Seems like the standing leg gets more work because of the engagement it has to do. Whew, that's a tough one. Okay, so we're switching sides with the strap on the right foot. Come to your mountain pose. Just break these down. We don't have to just jump into these postures. And we want to establish this connection. Okay, how are your feet? long spine, focus forward, shoulders slightly back. Now start shifting weight into the left foot. Core engagement, floating right foot up, marionette puppet. Left hand can come to hip for a moment. So just keep locking into each new space. Extend left arm up into the air, switch hands on the strap. Right hand can come to right hip. Extend right leg. Right hand reaching back. Turn, even if it's just a little bit, even just changing your focus, just at a new angle, maybe not necessarily to the side of the room, but just off center. Look forward. Good, let's place right hand on hip. Let's go ahead and bend this knee right away. Let's go ahead and switch hands on this strap. Left hand on hip. And set the foot down, do your dance. Wow. Yes, okay, that's all we're gonna do with that. Just wanted to break that down, okay? All right, mountain pose. Let's inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, take chair pose. Bring hands to heart center as you're taking your seat. We're going to inhale here. And exhale, dive out of your seat down towards toes or hands to the ground actually. Step back into plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, and inhale to extend right leg up. Bend and twist, just for a little difference here. Unwind, exhaling, stepping through. Let's go to warrior one. Left heel plants into the ground. We're going to rise right up. Opening to warrior two. Establish your balance here. We'll take side angle pose. Reach out. Rotate the arms. Nice extension. Inhale. Good. Exhale, we'll turn, hands to the ground. Back to our plank pose. Finishing your sequence. Inhale, up dog. And downward facing. Setting up for the other side. Inhale, extending left leg into the air. Your exhale to warrior one. Left foot steps through. Right heel plants into the ground. Find the balance. Lightness in the hands so they float into the sky. First warrior into second warrior. Side angle. Inhale, just expand and open. Exhale, return to the earth with both hands. Step back into plank. We'll finish the flow. Finishing in downward facing dog. Establish balance. Let's come back down to the ground. You might kneel down gently. Sit back and then sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. Okay, just sit comfortably for a moment. Let me just quickly demo this, just so you're not too surprised by this. We are going to set that we're going to bridge pose again. Establish this balance. Knees bent, feet flat on the ground, right here. With a nice exhale, I'm lifting. I'm going to use my arms, really plug into the ground. I'm going to get, here's my little wiggle so I can get the shoulders a bit more underneath. Press. I feel my feet pressing firmly into the mat. Arms, a little bit of my head, not much really. Mostly my arms and feet. Now, I'm going to wiggle this left foot to center a little bit and then extend right leg into the air. So again, I establish balance before taking this leg up into the sky. So I have this tripod again. And then setting this down. I can even bring it close to the other foot, so I'm already establishing the triangle of my elbows and that right foot, so I can right away extend left leg into the sky. Because normally I like to take this wide when I first do my bridge pose, but this wouldn't be conducive to extending a leg in the air. I'd be taking a four-legged table, taking a leg off, and falling, right? Okay? So we just have to establish that tripod. So let's go ahead and lie down. Knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Take them wide if you want to, just whatever works best for your bridge, your regular bridge. Your exhale to lift hips if you haven't already. Maybe bent elbows because we need to establish those 2 points of our table. Just as you have 2 points of the 2 feet on the ground initially for our 4-legged table. Our bridge pose. Now make sure you push strongly into the earth with the arms so you can maybe step the left foot to center a little bit. Your exhale extending right leg into the sky. So you have your tripod. Inhale, reach through your toes. Exhale, bring that right foot maybe right next to the left foot so you still have that triangle. Exhale, let's extend left leg straight up. Inhale to reach through the toes. Exhale, bring the left foot down. Wiggle the toes forward. You might even separate them a little bit, the feet. Extend your arms into the air. We're just making space so we can come back down to the ground. Let's extend the body. Extend the arms behind you. Reach your legs out front. Stretch. Make it active. Whenever you're ready, hug both knees into chest. Even some movement here, if you'd like, just to get some release in the hips and low back. At least that's what I like to do. Let's take this to a twist, and we'll start by taking knees to the left side as we extend right arm to the right side. And even that's a balancing act. As one section of the body, in this case the lower half, moves to one side, and the upper half moves in the opposite direction. Creating the balance. We'll take 3 more breaths on this side. Slowly releasing and returning to center. You might hold center for a moment so you reestablish this alignment, this centering and balance. And then we'll take the twist to the other side. Knees to the right, left arm to the left. Take 3 more breaths. When you feel complete, make your way back to center. Here, you're welcome to take any other pose that would feel good to help complete your moving practice. When you do feel complete, go ahead and make your way into Shavasana. Just as we found connection to the ground at the beginning of our practice with our feet rooted into the earth, here we establish a greater connection with the ground in this nice, relaxing, lying down position. And even here, feeling a sense of balance. Return to the awareness of your breath, the steady flow of your breathing. And as you're making this reconnection with breath, just notice and be aware of how you used breath to establish balance in your body today. And even think about how you can take this balance with you off the mat as you carry forward on your day. Let's take 3 deep breaths. And with those breaths, prepare your body to move. When it feels right, take your time to carefully roll onto either side of your body. Just holding this nurturing pose for a moment. Even one more deep breath. And then take your time, moving in slow motion, rise to a seated position. Just as we did in our extended leg seated posture, and just feeling your sits bones plug into the ground if you need to move the flesh away, just to establish that connection. So you can sit up nice and tall and proud. Here, inhale, extend your arms into the air. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart space. Once here, just take one more breath in and out on your own. And as we complete our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Namaste.